So where does the title come from? How did you pick it? Because that's what got my attention.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
A lot of
what
people,
is this movie?
A lot of people ask about the title, and that's usually it's a pretty common response. And I wish I had a deeper reason for it.
Just make one up. That's fine.
Coming up with that title, but it was a line in a scene that we ended up cutting from the movie, and it stayed throughout from the very beginning. It just kind of stuck with the movie, and
I mean, after watching the film, I think like it makes sense to me. It's not out of place, but that was the reason I watched it. Out of all these films in Seattle, I was like, how am I meant to watch like 300 movies and know which ones are worth seeing? But I'm glad that you picked the title and that it stood out, because I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, okay, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, that's usually what people. I do think the title gets people to come and watch the movie, whether it's because they love the title or hate the title. And I also think that people end up finding out that it's not quite what they had in mind.
Not at all.
But hopefully in the end,
I think in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, in a good way, people are pleasantly surprised. It's very good. So what you had a film at? Well, first of all, this premiered at Sundance. Is that right? How was that? How was the reception in Sundance?
I mean, Sundance was pretty mind-blowing. We had 3 sold-out screenings, and the response was just really overwhelming and amazing and wonderful. And we met some other just amazing filmmakers and got to have great discussions with the audience there. And it was a very, very special time, I think. Yeah.
And then where did the film go after that?
After Sundance, we went to Cleveland International, Nashville, Little Rock, Philadelphia,
Newport Beach,
and now we're here in Seattle.
Yeah. So what's next? This is your first feature.
Yeah.
Do you have another feature in the works?
I hope so. I mean, this is my first feature, and but I had written a featured script that was based on a short film that I did that played at Sundance called Short Term 12, and
which you won the Grand Jury Prize for, right?
So I wrote a feature also called Short Term 12. It's a narrative piece that all takes place primarily within the walls of a group home for troubled teenagers, and I'm hoping that's going to be the next project that we do. So
good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited to see it. And Dominic, you have a theater, music, and acting background. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did you first get started?
I first got started with acting and singing. I guess I have 2 older brothers that are musicians and actors, and I followed them to conservatory, went to college, did that, and then spent some time in New York working on stage, and then traveling on stage productions, and then I've been in Los Angeles and Chicago for a few years on and off, and I don't know, I'm sort of like a garage band musician myself. I work on scoring and for films, you know, and then I write my own things, but I just kind of keep it to myself, you know, a lot like the character in the film, but a little bit of a different kind of vibe or different kind of music, but yeah, I'm mainly I'm a film actor, so I'm just working on different films.
So what's next for you?
I have a film that's coming out. It's also a music-based film. It's about it's called CBGB. I haven't started working on it yet. It's next month, but it's about it's a historical club in New York City where a lot of rock bands and punk bands and things surged into, you know, the American punk movement kind of.
So when is it set? What decade is it set in?
It opened up in the 70s, in the early 70s, and then it just closed in 2006. So when I lived in New York, I was able to catch a few shows there. So it's great to be a part of this. It'll be great to be a part of this film that is going to be, you know, telling a story of music and, you know, over the past past few decades. So I'm psyched.
Overall, how has Seattle been for you guys in the couple of days that you've been here?
Seattle's been great.
Yeah.
It's been raining the whole time, so I don't feel guilty.
Oh, that's not
watching
true.
movies
This is apparently good weather for Seattle, I've been told.
Today's been good. Today we got to cruise around, and we went down to the fish market and saw them tossing fish around.
Mm-hmm. That's a must-do.
But we've seen some really good movies here, and it's been...
Favorite movie at the festival so far? That you've seen?
Do you have a favorite?
I haven't been able to see any. I've got family
I
here, so
don't
I'm
want to
doing
single anyone out.
Yeah.
They've all been wonderful.
There's a lot of everything I've seen I've liked so far.
Yeah.
And last question, have to ask: are you guys hipsters?
I don't even know what that means.